Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle Channel, and today I'm going to show you what a fiddler can do with the Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean has to be one of the most exciting backing tracks for a film for a long time. Written by Hans Zimmer in 2003, and a lot of the themes were used subsequently in the follow-up films. It's got lots of sections and lots of versions, and I'm going to show you most of the main sections, and I'm going to give you suggestions as to how you might arrange them or group them, because you're probably not going to be playing the whole symphonic version. This tune is ideal for busking because it's something which a lot of people are going to recognise. It's also something that's ideal for pirate theme parties, and a serious artist like myself, of course, would never dress up as a pirate to do gigs for pirate theme parties. But some people have to make a living, and so you never know. So I'm going to show you, I think there's 7 or 8 different sections, and we'll discuss what you can do with each of them as we go along. So there's one version that appears sometimes which goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's quite a nice little tune, a little ditty. It's got a jig feel to it because it is in 6/8. And it has that kind of Scottish strathspey feel. It's only a single chord, a D, but a D drone is quite nice. The only trouble with this bit is it doesn't really go anywhere, so that's really as far as it goes. But that's a good place to start. It then leads into a something like that, which again is the jig rhythm, yum ta ta da dum. So it can be just an open D, but if you put an A under it on the G string, that sounds quite good. And you can do that a few times. I think 3 times is probably the right number, and then it's into what is probably the main melody. Now with a lot of these sections it works low down and it also works an octave up, so you can do exactly the same thing. And because each section is repeated, you could certainly do it once on the lower octave and then once on the higher octave. The rhythm of this is a bit odd because we started in 6/8 and it's still in 6/8, but all the way through from this point on it's a 1 2 3 1 2 3 down 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 down. So the rhythm of the melody is fighting continuously with the rhythm of the backing, and as a solo piece it's quite difficult to make sense of this. If you're playing this with a band, or even indeed with just one accompanist doing a 6/8 rhythm, yum ba dum ba dum ba dum, then it makes quite a lot of sense. But you could add, particularly to the higher version, some harmonies, and if you use the scale of sixths, then that kind of thickens it out quite a lot, and particularly if you were doing this solo, then that would be a good thing to do. And the same goes for a lot of the subsequent sections. Let's just do that A section on its own with the backing. notice I'm doing a lot of the notes short and what you might call détaché, rather than smooth and legato, which doesn't really suit this particular tune. Now the next section we've got is just a little linking section, which in a lot of contexts won't really make any sense. It goes like this. So unless you're playing with a proper band or a backing track, I would actually leave that bit out, because it doesn't make a lot of sense on its own. The next section does, which is this one. Up an octave. And notice how on the higher octave in particular, the scale of 6 adds a lot to it. And you might, because there's such a lot of gaps in this, do something like this. Just to give it a bit of drive. If you've got a band behind you, then that's not really necessary. Next section, which is like an alternative to the D section, to that section we've just done. Up an octave. And then the final section, which is actually one of the best melodies for the fiddle itself. And the reason that's the best melody is that it's actually going into a proper 3/4 time, and it's not bouncing over the rhythm the whole time. So if you're performing this, then do think carefully about who you're going to do it for and who you're going to do it with. If you're going to use if you're playing it with a band, then I would arrange it using some of these sections, and perhaps not all of them. Listen to the original and see what order you want to put them in. If you're doing it with an orchestral backing track, which is what I'm going to finish with, then obviously you have to do the arrangement for that backing track. But bear in mind there are a lot of different arrangement backing tracks. The one that I've chosen is a pretty short one, only a minute and a half long or something, and that just takes snippets. Some of the versions you will see are quite a lot longer and go round and round various of the sections, so it's up to you to choose which of those bits you're going to do. So I'll finish off by playing the long version, which uses most but not all of these sections. And this is from a backing track that I downloaded from YouTube. If you'd like a copy of the sheet music that I've been using here, then do subscribe to the channel and send me an email. And if you're interested in helping to support these videos, then do consider joining me on Patreon. Thank you for watching. I'll play you out with the long version. See you again soon.